Welcome to Season 2 of the Craft Beer Connoisseurs Podcast. I'm Brett. If you're new to the podcast, we are three friends and a producer who like to showcase craft breweries and their beers. Also, we like to end every episode with a short conversation on a variety of different topics. If you're not new to the podcast, well, welcome back. We will keep things similar to Season 1. After all, if it isn't broken, don't fix it. Whether you're new or returning, please feel free to listen to all of our Season 1 content. And remember to follow us on Instagram at Craft Beer Cons, send a friend request on Untapped, or subscribe on YouTube at Craft Beer Connoisseurs. Also, drop a comment, like, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Now, for today's episode. Welcome to Craft Beer Connoisseurs. I'm Brett.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Tyler. Along with us today is producer Calvin.
Hey, Calvin.
Hi, Calvin.
Hello, Calvin.
Well, in today's episode, we're going to be reviewing Goodlot Farmstead Brewing out of Caledon, Ontario, or more specifically, Alton.
Yes,
Alton.
Very specific. And as always, we're going to be having two beers. The first is the Farmstead Ale, which is a pale ale and their flagship. And the second one is Top of the Morning, which is a dry Irish Stout.
You should have done a little bit more Irish on it,
Yeah.
but I'll give it to you. So to finish up the episode, we're going to talk about our hobby collections.
So, Goodlot Farmstead Brewing, located at 18825 Shaw's Creek Road, near Caledon, more specifically, Chris, Alton.
That's right.
Thank you for that.
Be
tidbit.
very specific.
So Goodlot was launched in 2009 from the team of Phil and Gail Winters as an organic hop farm with 200 acres of land.
Yikes.
Previous to that, Phil managed and owned a solar company. Gail was an independent film producer.
Interesting.
Now, they have since embraced regenerative carbon farming. So in other words, their farming practices are those that sequester more carbon in the soil than what is emitted on an annual basis.
Awesome.
Tyler, I feel as though that's something that you'd be into.
Venice. I also like the solar company aspect.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right. So lots of study and education went into where they are today, as is the case with a lot of successful businesses. So in 2011, they established their first hop yard with 125 different plants. As well, they co-founded the Ontario Hop Growers Association. And then after finding some success, they decided to build another hop yard and planted an additional 1,400 rhizomes, which I believe are plants of hops, mainly focusing on Cascade and Nugget hops.
Nugget.
Nugget.
Maybe there's
Could be also nougat.
It could be.
Could be the tie-in with the Irish. It's a golden nugget.
There you go.
Yes.
There
There
you
you
go.
go.
So once they got certain clients, now I'll name a couple of their clients. You might have heard of a couple of these. Nickelbrook, Muskoka,
Yep.
Wellington. That's just to name a couple of them.
Along with Goodlot.
Yeah, well,
Aha, I see what you did there.
they learn, alongside Mary Beth Keefe from Granite and then Paul Dickey from Cheshire Cat. So in order to get the feedback from the unique flavors and aromas of the hops themselves. So
Yes.
Very interesting.
So now they ventured into growing 8 different hops within their, I put in 2-acre yard. 200-acre yard.
significant size difference.
Size different.
Yeah.
So you have Cascade, we mentioned that earlier, Chinook, Nougat, Nugget, we'll see where that goes. So, they are woody and bitter. Mount Hood, which is floral with some spice. Willamette, which is grassy and woody. Kent Goldings, lavender and honey.
This is, this is nice because
Yeah.
we have talked about hops before. This is going to give us a little bit of a tease into maybe future hop education.
Yes, exactly. Santium, I believe I'm saying that right.
Yep.
Herbal and peppery. And my favorite one, just because it seems like a very good tongue twister, Vojvodina, which is woody and tobacco. And then some of these tall vines can actually grow as high as 20 feet.
Nice.
in
So
season.
producer Calvin has said to us, has said, he's typed it out. What a funny fella. Anyways, that he hasn't heard of majority of these, which is actually kind of interesting because it is a little bit off of the traditional beaten path of some ones that we would see, Vic Secret, Cascade and all
Yeah.
that. So we do have some of those.
I agree. Like personally, other than the first 3, the Cascade, Chinook, and Nugget, Nougat, wherever we're going with that, I don't think I've heard of the other ones.
Right.
Yeah.
But maybe they're in some of the beers that we're going to try today, and we'll get to experience that.
Maybe.
And again, I mean, you look at some of the flavor profiles that you get from this, and producer Calvin mentioned this as well, with like the tobacco kind of side of things, right? Is you use different kinds of hops to get different flavor profiles. And it was nice that you added that in, Brett, with the hop and then kind of where that kind of aligns itself.
Yes. I felt as though you guys, hop education, right?
Good job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The listeners appreciate it too.
I know they do. So they also grow and forage a lot of their ingredients that are used in their seasonal releases as well. So, berries, maple sap, coriander, spruce tips, honey, just to name a couple there.
Okay.
Yeah. So really, their beers that they're brewing are completely from their land, like for the most part. Like it's pretty cool. So they've been working to be a sustainability leader. So we mentioned that they are basically, I guess, better than net neutral from a carbon perspective.
Yep.
So their beer is brewed in an eco-friendly area that used to be a barn, and it's powered by 20 kilowatts of solar power. So that, solar background coming in handy.
Oh, is
there.
that? Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
nice connection. Wow, that's very good. So, yeah, they avoid the use of fertilizers, pesticides, and herbicides, along with, tilling to keep in line with conservative water management practices. So they're really doing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Goodlot's all farm-raised, community-minded, family-owned and operated, which I'm sure we'll see the passion within the beers themselves today that they have, right? Also, during the months of May to October, they do have some couple outdoor beer gardens along with food, live music, as, most places do.
Yeah.
Also, you are able, weather permitting, to wander the hop yards, say hi to some sheep, and even play a round of disc golf.
You know what would be
disc
good
golf.
in that beer garden?
Playing a round of disc golf with some sheep.
The craft beer connoisseurs set up to do a live podcast.
Oh, yeah, that would also be good too.
We could have a sheep make a guest appearance.
Yeah, I just wanted to see a sheep play disc golf is where I was at. Yeah.
All I'm saying, we do a live podcast from the beer garden. We get a round of disc golf in. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Could be a good time.
Sounds like a good time.
It would be a good time.
Speaking of good times, Untapped, right? 94 beers they've created with an average rating of 3.65. We haven't had a whole lot.
No.
I've only had two. A whole lot, good lot. Look at me.
a bit of a stretch, but we'll give it to you.
Give it to me, okay? Anyway, so I've actually had the Farmstead Ale before, but I haven't had it in a while, so it'd be different to see if anything has changed from that. And I also had the Big Head Amber as well. So I both rated them a 3.75. Had those both back in 2020, and not out of the proper glassware. So we'll see how that affects
That's
today,
so
right?
you.
Yeah.
that is so me,
you.
right?
You probably just drank it right out of the can.
You want to know what's also so you guys? You guys have had zero from here.
Wow.
That is true. So both Chris and I have had none. Producer Calvin has had one, which was the Farmstead Ale as well.
Yes.
Now that was out of the Nitrocraft beer calendar.
Nita.
Oh, sorry, Nita. Yes, I apologize. So,
Yes.
Isn't that Nita?
Yeah, that's very Nita. All right.
Whole lot, good luck, am I right?
So the Farmstead Ale, so the first beer we're having, it can be found in about 200 different LCBOs and grocery stores. Big Head Ambers in about 100 different LCBO and grocery stores. And all of the other releases that they have are directly found through Goodlot themselves.
No, I don't like myself for this.
Okay.
I hate myself for this. But I'm wondering if Big Head Amber is the same amber.
I knew
that we
exactly
referenced
were you were going
in
with that.
season 1.
No.
No, okay.
She did
good.
not have a big head.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't know. Anywho,
Hey, you opened the door.
Yeah.
it's true. So speaking of beers that they have currently listed on their website, so the Big Head Amber and the Farmstead, they also have a Fruition Sour series. There's one with blackberry, one with raspberry.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, they just sound pretty good. Yonder, which is a West Coast IPA. Stone's Throw, an East Coast IPA, and their Yellow Cap series. So it's actually a very unique small batch, 750 milliliters for sharing or cellaring. So there's an elderberry sour, an English dark, a ginger pale ale, and a Belgian triple.
There you go.
Yes. Okay.
Great.
Well, Calvin, kind of a little bit of a mea culpa here. The Farmstead Ale wasn't out of the Nita craft beer calendar.
So that's not Nita.
It was one that his fiance had made in his home craft in the home craft beer calendar
There
from the
it is.
LCBO.
Let's give a round of applause
Yeah.
for Calvin and his fiance,
Yeah.
everybody.
Good job. There.
Let's get that in
Yeah,
there.
absolutely. So in terms of, getting beers from Goodlot, currently everything is online ordering. So you're able to pick up at their bottle shop Thursday and Friday from 2 to 6 and Saturday and Sunday from 12 to 5. Delivery-wise, free over $70. Otherwise, a $10 fee applies. And we're just going to mention this right now.
Okay.
So Goodlot does not deliver to the London area.
But we got beers.
Correct. They actually, I believe his name was Luke, drove out of his way.
Like quite a way.
Quite a way out of his way to deliver beers to us. So that deserves a very big round of applause.
Oh my God. 2 round of applause here. Oh,
right? I'm just saying that right now. So in terms of their delivery-wise, local delivery every week, and then they have bi-weekly deliveries to the GTA and KW, Barrie, Owensound, Metropolis areas, and apparently London occasionally.
VIP drop-off.
You need to start a podcast.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to link to all of their information on our social media so that you can place those deliveries if you'd like.
Okay. Well, is it time, boys?
It's time.
All right. Let's have the first one. All right, well, big thank you to Phil from Goodlot for providing and curating the beers that we're having on today's episode.
Thanks, Phil.
And again, big pumps to Luke for, gas is not cheap.
Huge pumps.
Yeah.
So, get him here.
It was not an electric vehicle that he was driving.
It was not. Oh, you actually met him, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
All right,
That's too bad.
That he met me?
No, that it wasn't an electric vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got the solar there. You might as well just plug in right to there. I think, whatever.
Yeah, you know what?
I don't know what to tell you.
Doesn't matter. We have beers. So the first beer is called Farmstead Ale, which again is their flagship pale ale. 6.2 ABV, 38 IBUs.
Nice. So this is going to make maybe a little bit of a surprise to everybody, right? This beer features their organic Cascade and Nugget hops.
There you go.
Who knew it'd be organic? I mean, it's not like we just talked about it. With a smooth, soft body and sweet honey backbone. So it's not excessively bitter, but hard to pin down. Maybe hard to put down because it tastes so good.
Maybe.
I guess we'll find out, right?
We'll find out. So it apparently comes with notes of pineapple, tangerine, apricot, and then the lychee, which is what we've actually mentioned in previous episodes.
Yeah.
It is described as an easy drinking beer that has incredible flavor. Now, we are the craft beer connoisseurs, and we're the ones to judge that, so we'll get there shortly.
We will judge that. So on Untappd, speaking of judging, you can follow us at Craft Beer Connoisseurs and on our Instagram at Craft Beer Cons. And the overall rating for Farmhouse Ale is 3.63 bottle caps out of 5, which actually 4,400 check-ins.
Yeah.
So
pretty good.
Yeah, pretty big.
So we are drinking this one out of the can, and there's about 3,300 check-ins from the can with 3.66 average rating. The bottle is actually the lowest at 3.52, but there's only 23 check-ins. Yeah. So, hit or miss there. And we're actually going to let people know how many fives there are out of this beer. So out of those 4,400, there's 55 fives.
Wow.
So much below the average that Brett would give for five.
Also, two things before we get into Tyler's whole spiel here. If you grab the can, very, very sensory adverse. Feel the can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very tactile.
Absolutely. Yeah. And also they got a high five from the green belt.
That's probably because of the organic, the solar.
Could be.
The practices.
So high five back.
Yeah.
There you go.
Tyler.
All right. Well, it's time to grab your glass, grab your cans, and let's open her up. All right. So, Chris, what are we drinking out of here?
Beautiful. So we are drinking this pale ale out of a pint glass. So make sure to use your proper glassware.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. Giving a little pour here. Let's see what we got.
Absolutely.
Chris, what do you see?
Well, it's kind of like a goal. I think in our last producer special, we mentioned pale ales kind of have that burnt orange sometimes. It's kind of got that. I do actually see, looking through it. So first of all, you can't see through it. It's translucent. But there's a bit of sediment hanging around throughout it.
Nice honey color.
Yeah, honey color. That's a good way to describe it. Yeah.
Head about 2 fingers. A 2-finger head.
On yours, yeah.
And I actually did it this way this time instead of like last time when I went this way.
Yes. Yeah, you did.
I got my horizontal and verticals correct
horizontal,
now. That's
Yes.
great. Yeah, no, it looks good. Now, what about the smell?
Definitely getting this pineapple. I believe it was pineapple, right?
Yeah, there's pineapple. Yeah.
Pineapple tangerine. I'm definitely getting that apricot. Yeah.
Some citrus notes there, and that's Calvin was
Still,
also saying about the
still
apricot.
not. As a farmer, I should know this, but lychee. Not exactly in
Not
depth
familiar
with
with that
lychee
one?
yet.
Yeah,
or
me-
lychee.
me neither.
Wow,
Yeah.
I don't even know how to say it, so
Yeah,
of
we're
course I'm
gonna-
not even going to know how it smells.
We might have to do a producer special and just like tasting fruits individually.
Yes.
Just to really kind of hone in on it. And maybe the same thing with the hops or the malts.
Absolutely.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
Absolutely. And also, there's a best before date.
Oh, yes?
Yes, May 8th. So this
Okay.
is going to be drinking before that.
Oh, thank goodness.
It should be drank today.
Exactly.
All right, should we get sipping here, fellas?
I think so.
Do it.
All right.
Let's taste it up. No.
Wow, he's trying,
See what I did there?
trying to start something new.
Wow.
Yeah, it didn't work, did it?
What do you guys taste out of that?
So I'm getting a lot of bitterness kind of up front, and then I think it's the pineapple coming through at the end.
Yes.
But basically the fruitiness coming through at the end.
For sure.
I'm surprised at how highly carbonated this beer is. Give another sip there.
Now, speaking with that, we talked about the nucleation points in our last producer special.
We did.
What do you guys see for that? And that might kind of go hand in hand with the carbonation aspect of it.
Well, you can definitely see that there is a lot of sediment
Yeah.
flowing around.
Yeah, I would say like the sediment is kind of
Overshadowing. Yep.
blocking, if you will,
Okay.
the nucleation.
Right. Kind of just the adjuncts are disturbing the rest of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so back to the flavors then. So we were talking a little bit there, a little bit of a pineapple to it, the citrusy kind of aspect of it. Again, kind of more up front, and then as it kind of subsides.
I'm kind of getting, now that I'm getting a little bit more into it, more of the tangerine on the back end. I
Yeah.
find. Right? That's just me personally.
And I think they mentioned that there was honey. Was there honey in it, or had the smell of honey? But and either way, I'm not getting I'm not getting honey at all on it.
No. The honey backbone that they're saying, like the soft. It's definitely smooth and soft.
Yeah.
Just that honey backbone isn't there. I'm getting the tangerine is dominating for me in that aspect.
Yeah, as it sits, I am getting that apricot. I don't know if you guys kind of taste that out. And I don't know, maybe it's more of like a dry apricot than anything.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it's just.
I almost get that more on, because I got to say this once per episode, on the swallow. I almost get the apricot right off the swallow. Mm-hmm. And then it transfers into that tangerine. But that honey, as it said, it isn't there in my aspect.
For
Yeah.
sure. So do we want to get into the top five?
Let's go to the top five.
All right, for sure. So number one, we have sweet.
That one I don't think would make my top five.
No.
To be honest.
Okay. Number two, hoppy.
Definitely hoppy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely hoppy.
In the two spot,
Not in two spot per se. I think it's definitely in top five.
Kelvin and I may be dropping that down to a 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Three, malty.
No, it's not multi at all.
Like I'm confused by that one myself.
Yeah.
4, this one gets me really confused. The caramel.
Yeah, that is.
I was very, very confused by that one.
So we talked about, what was this? Just over 4,000 check-ins? 4,404?
4,400.
Something like that, yeah.
That's a lot of people making a strange selection.
Right.
Yeah, to get the top 5. And then number 5, strong.
For a pale ale, I think it is strong.
Yeah, I mean, it is a 6.5, right? 6.2.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what people are thinking, but it doesn't
You
come
know what?
off as strong.
People might be thinking that, the same people that think this is malty and caramel. So let's let
Right.
that sit, right?
That's fair.
I think that the top 5 flavor profiles in this are actually an injustice to the beer.
Yeah,
If-
honestly,
I agree.
we would just toss these all out and start fresh.
Yeah.
Let's
Just
do
as
it then.
fresh as this
Give
beer.
me your top 5. Go nuts.
Well, I think I'd certainly have hoppy, bitter, citrusy, even.
I'd go straight to the actual fruits.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
I would add
Like
in
the
pineapple.
tangerine.
pineapple, tangerine, apricot. Yeah, that's kind of
Your lychee.
the top 5. Yeah, so Calvin is saying, because we talked about the hops and what their flavor profiles were. So these hops in this beer, it's Nugget and Cascade, were supposed to be bitter and woody, which he says he is getting. So,
Yep.
But definitely not malty and caramel. And I think that's just kind of, just a misstep, in my opinion.
Unless, and the only thing I can think of is they have changed the recipe with this beer at some point, and those are kind of legacy flavor profiles from the first brew, but I don't know.
Yeah, a little disappointed in that myself.
Yeah, the flavor profiles just don't directly correlate with the beer. Granted, the beer is still good. Don't get me wrong, just they're not the flavor.
No, I think this is more of the untapped users dictating a flavor profile, which actually, in my opinion, isn't this beer. Now, given we could be the outcast in this one, and 4,400 people might be the ones that are right, but
probably not.
But
we are the connoisseurs, so
I don't know. I would tell everybody to drink it and let us know. Give us the feedback of what you taste and what you feel on that one. All right.
Speaking of people's feedback from Untapped, we're going to get into more of actual readings versus just flavor profiles. Chris, numero uno.
First one from Kevin B. Handle is Bally17. On December 10th said, nice nose, very smooth going down, and crisp, clean finish. Detected some fresh notes of fruits. Very flavorful. 3 out of 5 for Kevin on this one.
And just so you know, he actually spelt it Crips, not crisp. That actually isn't in my air. That's actually how he spelled it. Just to give you an FYI.
Interesting.
Yes, nice.
Absolutely.
So the next one is Jeff B. Zen Flyers is the handle. On December 31st, possibly the last beer of the year, stated, interesting, clean, with some sort of tropical notes, 3.75 out of 5. And because I like my soapbox, and I do enjoy a good tangent once in a while, neither of these Untapped users hinted at any of those top 5 flavor profiles.
True.
So even going through the ones that we've used here as an example, clean with some sort of tropical notes, there's none of that caramel, there's none of that malty. So again, just another kind of like right-left punch.
Yeah, I agree.
Now I'm going to start with the ratings for us. So I'm going to give it a 3.25. 3.25.
Chris?
Interesting. So I am going to give this one a 3.5.
Okay. I'm going to...
Mine was interesting.
Yes.
3.25, and you come in with a 3.5?
I don't know.
So technically, Chris's would be more interesting. And mine is even going to be more interesting. See what I did there? I'm going to stick with my original rating of a 3.75. Producer Calvin is going to also stick with his original rating of a 3.
All right, so I'm going to ask you this because we didn't talk about it. You've had it before.
Correct.
You've had it now.
Yep.
You stuck with the original rating.
Correct.
Do you find that the beer has changed? And this kind of goes back to Chris's comment that maybe it was a different, maybe in Untapped with the flavor profiles back at the time. I'm just curious if you find that the beer has changed or has not changed. Has it been pretty consistent, if you can remember?
I'm just going back to my actual check-in. Pretty much I just said I was thinking it was going to be a farmhouse ale. It was not. So that was good. So obviously I did not have much influence there, but I did have a tagged with you. I had it with you, so there you go.
When was that?
April 9th of 2020, so I feel as though it was one of them virtual beers.
Yeah, that was a virtual one.
Definitely would have been. We've been playing some video games.
Yes.
All right, so that gives us an overall team score on Untapped of 3.375. We're going to bump that up to a 3.5, which is interesting.
That's quite interesting. Speaking of interesting, let's move on to beer number 2. All right, the second beer we're having today is Top of the Morning, and it's
still was not good Irish.
I'm not good with my accents. It is a dry Irish Stout, which is one of their most recent releases, and it comes in at 4.0 ABV, so kind of low on the ABV scale, and 40 IBUs.
Nice. So this is Goodlot's version of a dry Irish Stout, as you've already mentioned. So, very much deja vu here, Fife. This is brewed with Clear Valley, Ontario hops, which is also not a surprise to anybody, as we introed this episode with telling you about all the hops being basically grown on site.
Yep.
UK pale malt and high percentages of an unmalted barley and roasted barley. Then fermented with Escarpment Labs Irish Ale yeast.
Yes, correct.
Very nice.
So this is going to pour jet black, as
All right.
you know, it's a stout, so it should, with a toasty, roasty, velveted body. Okay, and it's going to be some bitter finishing to it. So, and it's, Chris, as you pointed out, like this is actually one of the probably lowest ABV stouts I've
That
probably
we've had?
had.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm
It is,
actually
it is
interested
really
in this
low at a 4.0. So on Untapped, there are a whopping 10 check-ins. So we mentioned it's one of their newest releases, so that makes sense. But average rating of 4.03 out of 5. So good rating. And one of those 10 ratings was a 5 out of 5.
Nice.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is a pre-release to St. Patrick's Day.
Oh,
Nah, could be.
yeah.
The
right.
can is green.
All right.
It is green
It's
here.
got a high five from the green belt.
Another one.
All right. Let's grab our cans and grab our glasses and let's open her up.
What a sound. What a sound, they say.
All right.
Chris,
a little bit on the
what
pour here.
glassware are we drinking out of?
Well, this is a stout, so we are drinking it out of a nonic pint. So make sure to use your proper glassware.
Nice. All right. Calvin's struggling mightily over here.
What is Calvin doing? Oh my goodness.
Oh, we
He
have.
couldn't even open it.
Oh, what is Chris
Oh
doing?
my goodness gracious.
Things have gone for bad doors.
Producer Calvin saying he had to push the tab, and producer Calvin really struggling, apparently because there is curling on and he's trying to hurry hard.
I should have been recording this one on video, but Chris has got a wonderful
At least
four finger
half a glass.
head.
Full.
You know, we talk about how we're connoisseurs, but I guess pouring isn't part of tasting.
You know what? The one bright side here, though, none of it ended up on your couch.
I'll
Yes.
tell you what, though. It looks like an Irish stout with that head.
It's it's something. It is jet black. We could go with
Yeah.
that. We know that it is a stout, and we've talked about this with a lot of the stouts. Same color, like color consistency. The head on it is big. It's frothy. Very tight, like kind of condensed bubbles, so you get more of that frothy kind of look on the head. So I appreciate you doing us justice by just kind of pouring
By
it.
showing
showing
it
up
to
your
us.
pour.
Yeah, that-
In terms of the scent, I got in there first. Very roasty, very toasty.
Yeah.
Okay, definitely
Yes.
exactly as described, which is what we like to see from
Yeah,
a beer.
for sure. And this was poured into a glass.
Into a nonic pint, yes.
Yeah, so it's poured into a non pint glass.
Yes. I believe I mentioned that, but can't recall.
Yeah,
You did.
Calvin was mentioning it though.
I
But
think
he,
Calvin was at the point where he was struggling.
Yeah, he was
So,
struggling with the tab
He was
on his
not
can.
sure in
He's
terms
just
of what was going on,
let
right?
us know that we might have missed it, but I
Yeah.
think Calvin was just a little preoccupado.
Yeah.
All right,
Agreed.
so yeah, on the nose, I get some of that roastiness.
Yeah.
A lot of that roastiness.
Yeah. It smells nice. I mean, I like my stout, so it smells like a nice stout.
So we should drink it to make sure it's a nice stout. shouldn't we?
Let's double check with the drink. Yeah.
Yeah.
On
On the swallow.
Oh,
Yes, there we go. I will go first.
Well, I think we'll all drink at the same time.
Oh, that's actually quite nice. I like that.
What are you getting?
It is nice to get to have that big head and to get that as part of your sip. It kind of gives it that different mouthfeel and additional flavors.
In all fairness, your head
Yeah.
did subside a bit.
It did.
Which
Yes,
you
and
still
quickly,
you
too.
still
Pretty
have it.
quickly,
but,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, it's nice. I would say, it's what you would expect from your traditional Irish stout, where in terms of we're kind of used to these big, bold stouts, right? That breweries are making, and it's not that. It's more simple. So that's kind of what it is. It's very simple and has kind of all the basic stout flavors that you would expect, I would say.
There's nothing wrong with just keeping a beer simple,
Yeah, totally.
right? Like, pardon me there. Whew, a little belt shoot there. My bad. Anyway, in terms of this, I'm almost kind of getting I don't know if you guys are getting like a peppermint almost on the back end kind of taste.
Let me take another sip
Yes.
here.
I'm not getting it. I don't think Kelvin is either, but I do get that strong coffee, roasty kind of flavor, but it's a very full flavor. Like, and I think that kind of goes to what you were saying, Chris, a little bit, just simple but effective, and it's just well-rounded.
Yeah, see, like, I'm not getting as much coffee, though. Like, I'm
Really?
getting the roastiness, but I think that's just coming from the roasted malts rather than, almost like sometimes we have a stout on the podcast and it's like, yeah, this is coffee. I'm not really getting a lot of coffee in it.
So a fun fact about this is that I was actually kind of looking, because when everybody thinks about a dry Irish stout, they automatically go to Guinness,
Yes.
right? And actually, Guinness is a 4.2 ABV and 45 IBUs. Okay.
Pretty similar, right?
Right? Pretty similar. So I think this is kind of like their take, per se, on a Guinness.
I think so. And I was going to say, when we poured it, it looked, especially the head, looked a lot like a Guinness.
Yes. I'm just trying to get the IBUs out here. Just give me one sec.
Yeah. And Calvin is coming in saying, if you had a Guinness from a can, for example, it's usually nitro. Mm-hmm. It has the widget in it, so you just tip it upside down. Yep. Whereas this is not a nitro can; it's just a regular can.
And this beer, 42 IBUs, I believe, was correct.
40.
40.
Yeah.
Guinness, 45. Guinness
45.
So
yeah.
I think it's pretty. It's kind of what they're going for here.
Yeah, I mean, I say we, but Brett, you weren't a part of it. When we were at Imperial City, we had
I was not there.
We had an Irish stout there, and it was a 4.5 and 38 IBU as well. So
and that was, I believe they had that one on nitro. They had a few beers on nitro. I believe that one was on nitro. They had that one in their red ale.
It was on nitro.
Okay. Yeah, and we did mix that one with their, what was it, the cherry wheat, I think.
Yes. I did not mix that because I was not there.
Yeah.
But I am here, and we're drinking this beer right now. So let's talk about this beer.
So I do get a little bit more of the coffee. Do you want to run through the top 5 flavor profiles there, Chris?
Yeah, so number 1 is roasty, which I definitely get. Even just like I haven't taken a sip for maybe a minute or so.
Oh, you should.
I still feel that roastiness in my mouth. Mm-hmm. Number 2 is smooth.
Very smooth.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a smooth beer.
Yep.
Number 3, coffee.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can see why people are putting it there. I'm not necessarily getting as much coffee as like you guys, for example.
Right.
Number 4 is bitter. And I would say it does have a little bit of a bitterness on the back end for sure. And then since there's only 10 check-ins, there's actually no fifth flavor profile. So what do we
put
think?
in there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I'm okay with those 4.
You
Yeah.
wouldn't say refreshing like producer Calvin?
No.
Okay.
I would. I think.
Yeah.
I think
it is light.
Yeah. I personally would stick with those 4, but that's just me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I could respect if you put it as light.
I also think that it is good to kind of note that at least with the 10, we said 10 check-ins,
Yes.
that at least these 10 people are on the right path, unlike the last one.
That's a good point.
That is fair.
So let's go to the untapped users.
Yes, I have the first one, so I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I'm going to say it right now. This one's from Dean F, and his handle is Bucks FA1. Maybe he's a Tampa Bay Buccaneers free agent. Who knows? On January 16th, spot on Irish Stout, low ABV, wood session. Don't know if he can do that, but anybody ever seen a session stout? Don't think so.
I guess this one.
Yeah, there you go. And he rated it a 4 out of 5.
Cool. Well, maybe he's a Bucks fan, but Bucks fan 1 was taken or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. So, Tom Brady gone. So
Yeah.
good luck not making a Super Bowl in the next 10 years.
All right. Well, the next one comes from Gail B. Handles Gail B.
Wow.
There you go.
That's pretty simple.
On December,
Interesting, that some would say.
Yeah. On December 28th, said, nice lunch beer I had earlier. Dark with some nice roasted barley. And Gail gave it a 3.5 out of 5. So interesting to note with Gail, it states that she's from Sault Ste. Marie. So either she was, down in Caledon for the holidays, or someone sent her a nice care package for the holidays.
Very nice. I wonder what was for lunch besides the beer, unless the beer was said lunch.
Oh, that's a good question.
Maybe.
Well, in terms of our ratings, I'll kick it off for us. So I'm going to actually come in at the same rating I have for the first beer and go at 3.5.
I'm going to come in as the first rating I have for the first beer, which is a 3.75.
All right, moving along. I'm going to give it a 3.5, and producer Calvin is going to give it a 3.25.
All right. Well, Calvin's just running the math there. So overall, that's giving us an average of 3.5. So no need to round.
Look at that. Look at us doing that.
Perfect.
Wasn't that awesome? So that concludes the review of Goodlot and the beers that they provided for today's episode. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and coming up, we're going to be talking about hobbies and collectibles.
So while I was, completing some market research for the episode, it kind of dawned on me that Goodlot kind of started at a small scale and eventually became the huge property, farm, and brewery it is today. So,
Yes, it did.
yeah, thank you.
Good research.
So, you're welcome. So, with that said, do we have kind of any kind of collections, hobbies that necessarily have started small and grown massive?
Who do you want to go first? Do you want to just open it up?
Yeah, go ahead. Roundtable it like we always do.
For sure. So I guess I'll start. I have this thing. It's a podcast. It's called Craft Beer Connoisseurs.
I never heard of it.
Yeah, it's really good. We drop episodes every week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think
Really hate that Tyler guy is on that one. I heard.
Yeah, right. There's also a wet horse blanket too. Anyways, this podcast is a hobby I think of all of ours, right? And it started as just something small, a bit of an idea, and kind of grew to that. So I mean, that's one thing that's just it's kind of there. Other kind of like hobbies, I'm gonna just come out and say it. Like I kind of struggle with this from time to time is I feel like there's not like a whole lot of purpose and I need to do something and I need to find a hobby. I need to do that. So I don't know, like every 8-9 months, I feel like I have this complex where I sit around. I'm like, I need to have a hobby. Yeah. I need to have something.
You should probably take up knitting.
Something else to do, right? So I'll come back around to some of the ideas that I've had and some of those that I do. But maybe I'll go over to you, Chris.
Yeah, I don't really have any hobbies either. I'm kind of like you. I mean, the podcast is definitely a hobby. I mean, I guess we could say drinking and being interested in craft beer is a hobby.
Yeah.
Right.
While riding your Peloton.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's a lifestyle.
It's a cult.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then in terms of collections, like I don't have any big collections. I do have, a bunch of coasters from breweries, from bars, that sort of thing. I also like to get stickers from the breweries. So what I'll do is if I go to a brewery, I'll grab a sticker and put it on my beer fridge. So that's kind of cool. Kind of. Maybe not.
Yeah. Some would call that interesting.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't really have that many. I have collections. What about you, Brett?
Okay. So coasters, can labels actually is one that I do. If you go down in my basement, there is a lot of cans from different beers that I've kind of maybe rated 5s. Keep
so the whole basement's full. You actually can't get down to the basement.
Also, I do have glassware. Some of them proper, some of them not. Non-beer related, I used to have a lot of jerseys and hats. So back in the day, I don't know why, but any old school Allen Iverson Philadelphia jersey I always had. I also had a Michael Jordan high school jersey. Actually, I still have that one. And I've kept hats from all the teams I've played fastball with. So, I've played with American teams, I've played with Canadian teams. Stuff. Also, my father used to have a huge sports card collection that has dwindled a little bit in the past few weeks. And then my wife.
Gotta get her in there.
Yeah, of course. One purpose said.
Didn't realize this was about her, but here we are. About her hobbies and collectibles.
Currently, and I have had to help. I've had to help with this because, Facebook Marketplace is a wonderful thing. We had to collect all the Little People Princess set. So I've been driving around to different areas to pick up. Yeah, exactly. So
do you have who is it? Cinderella and Rapunzel?
Oh yeah, we got them.
Those are the only two we have for my daughter. So
we got them. We were trying to find them off of me.
Chris was going to sell them at a high price.
I mean, it sounds like I could get a couple $100 each from you on that.
And you'll even drive them over.
Would pay them a pretty penny. Yes,
there we go. And so we got Calvin. Calvin says bobbleheads.
Yes.
Growlers.
Have you been to Calvin's house? I have been. It's been close to me. No, I'm kidding. A different Calvin. But
Calvin's got growlers.
there's
Close,
a few bubbleheads and a few growlers.
close to 70. Used to do sports jerseys, but I haven't bought any of those in a while. And
Probably because he got engaged.
that's got to be it. Money's got to divert to the wedding fund. Sports memorabilia,
Or at least some houseplants.
house plants lately. Wow. And then hobbies, sports, fastball, curling, hockey, etc., etc., etc.
Yes, exactly. Hobby-wise, same. Without the curling. Golf would be more so mine.
And hockey,
Yeah. I
big
play a
hockey
lot
guy,
of-
get on there.
Yeah, I play a lot of hockey.
There you go.
Mini sticks.
There you go.
Mini sticks,
you go.
yes.
I do want to kind of get into some more collectibles. I used to have like some coins and stuff that I'd get just like randomly as I kind of grew up, and but I'd like to get back into like the sports card side of things. I think that'd be just.
I know a guy who knows a few things about them.
Yeah, cool.
I know a guy.
Yeah, I used to have a bunch of hockey cards. I don't think any of them were really that valuable.
Did you have anything between 1990 and 1996?
Maybe.
Because they are not of any value.
Yet, give it another 30 years.
No, they were so overproduced during that time that there literally is no value to them.
Yeah, I don't think I even really have any of them. I guess when I was a kid, I used to have more kind of collections. So one thing that probably a lot of us did was Pokemon cards. I had a ton of Pokemon cards back in the day, and trading them.
Did you collect them all? Or catch them all, I should say. Sorry.
I did not catch them all. I tried as hard as I could, but I did not catch them all.
I never bought one single Pokemon card.
Really?
I was given one, traded for 3, traded for 6, traded for 8. I always traded up. I had a huge stack of Pokemon cards, never paid a dime.
Yes. The holographic Charizards, let me tell you.
Yes.
300,000, 400,000.
So when we were, I think I was in grade 7, my school set up in our library at lunchtime a kind of like supervised by the teachers kind of Pokemon trading session because a lot of the older kids were taking advantage of the younger kids.
Whoops.
Being like, give me your Charizard for my green energy.
I love how you tied green energy back into this episode.
Yeah, there you go.
Unintentional, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Or like Beyblades. Remember the Beyblades? I used to be
That was on the tail end of us.
Yeah.
Maybe because you guys are a few years older than I am.
Yeah.
I remember having like this huge Beyblade ring.
The stadium?
Yeah.
And then just like, firing them off.
Yeah, everybody at home, you can clearly see exactly what he's doing.
Yes.
And
I used to have a huge WWE DVD collection that I sold off. But,
Pogs were a thing, too.
Pogs were a thing as well.
Pogs were crazy.
Calvin's
Bones.
just getting ramped up here when I said Pogs.
He loves Pogs. Get a nice bomber.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, you got any more hobbies collections you want to talk about?
No.
No?
Hobbies here. We've all talked about it. This is a hobby.
You know what? This is a hobby. And we hope that we're, a hobby for you guys, too. So
there you go. Yeah.
let's tie it up nicely. All right. We'll be right back.
Tie it up nicely. I see what you did there.
With our farewell. That's all for today's episode.
Yeah. Thank you again for listening. Keep on listening every other Thursday as Craft Beer Connoisseurs releases a new episode, and on our off Thursdays for a producer special.
And make sure to tell your friends, family, and your favorite Pokemon character, Pikachu!
So from all of us and producer Kelvin, I'm Tyler.
I'm Brett.
And I'm Chris, and together we're the Craft Beer Connoisseurs.